and it contains different information as regard fashion topics, and each of the topics we are dealing with per week are actually like extracted from the textbook. So you can open to page 84 to get a few processes on the monostrap dress. Now, what is a monostrap dress? Now, the word monostrap actually talks about dresses that have this kind of an asymmetric neckline. An asymmetric neckline is a kind of neckline that is not actually straight and is not balanced. So for you to create your monostrap, you should have an understanding of what kind of monostrap effect you want the dress to have, or the kind of monostrap look you want to create. As you all know, a monostrap is a kind of dress that has one side of the upper part of the neckline cut off or removed to create that strap look. And when you look at it, the word mono means single strap dress. Now, and because you're trying to achieve a monostrap, you should understand that every monostrap has its own detail and its own kind of style. You can use all kinds of fabric as you want, as long as you understand the direction of the style you want to interpret. So today, you can either have your monostrap coming from the neck point, you can have it a very tiny strap. But one major thing is just that once you are doing a monostrap, it shows that one side of the neckline on the body's block is going to be cut off or disengaged from the full pattern and not replaceable. So the same monostrap you do on the front pattern is what you are still going to do on the back. So now let's kick the ball rolling. Now, the first thing you need to do is understand that you can achieve all kinds of neckline cuts on your monostrap. Most times when you are doing your monostrap, you usually would actually end the neckline connection to the underarm point. And that's why when you look at it, it's always having this kind of slanting shape towards the armhole or the underarm point. And the reason for that is that you can't actually connect the neckline shape into the armhole. That would give us a different kind of style. Now, to go on, you can either do, for those of you that have actually checked our videos on neckline, we did some neckline, there was a neckline video that was sent to the freshers group, so it will also guide you on how to also interpret your style on the monostrap as well. Now, let me start now. The first thing you need to do is to understand that you can create a smaller strap on your dress if you want, and you can still maintain the full strap. The reason why you are maintaining the full strap is because a monostrap is like removing the full part of this neck, and already your body is already exposed, so you might want to be on the caution line, not exposing your body as much as it were. But if you want something very funky and you want to like reveal more, then you can work more on one part of your the shoulder line. Now, I want to start with mine. From your hand P, go inward by 2 or 3 cm. From the hand P, measure in 2 to 3 cm. On mine, I'm going to do 3 cm here. So once you have done your 3 cm, the next thing you need to now do is to connect whatever neckline you have decided to the armhole point, to the end of the armhole or the underarm. But it's very important that you can also create ease of connection on the underarm area if you really desire to do that. And how do you do that? You can come down on your underarm like 1 cm or 1.5 cm. So I'm doing 1 cm here now. So once you do that, then you connect the neckline with a curved ruler. Mind you that you can always connect like this. You can have this connection, but most times, most people want their neckline to be slightly curved. So you can create a curved line around your neckline. And how do you do that? To do that, you can actually look for the midpoint of this neckline length. This is 31 cm. Half is going to give me 15.5 cm. So from this point, I can come inward like 1.5 cm. Then you place your ruler on it. So when you do that, you have this. Now, already you have your desired shape of the neckline you want. And don't forget that most times when you are doing a monostrap can be detailed with all kinds of style. Even on this slanted line, you can decide to put your frills or flounce so that you can have an effect around the neckline. One other thing that is very important when you are doing monostrap is that you can decide on your own to either make sure that your monostrap is starting on your right, on the left, or on the right. So it's your taste. So you look for the one that actually suits your kind of style, so you can create your monostrap at any point of the shoulder where you want it. And don't forget that apart from creating this basic neckline, most monostrap are always slanted. And that's the beauty about the monostrap. Then if you want a canoe neckline monostrap, the best you can do is from your SP here, you go inward 5 cm. If you are creating a kind of canoe neck monostrap and you want the whole neckline to be exposed or open, you go from your SP, go inward by 5 cm, then you reconnect back to the underarm, like 1 cm below the underarm point. So, having done this, then you are good to go to actually work on the back part. Now, I will do a little bit of explanation with my miniature pattern to show you how to correctly cut out your monostrap dress. Now, let's go to the back. If you look at my pattern, this was the first pattern we are actually doing that actually engages having the full look of the pattern. I'm having my full front, so it's very impossible for anybody anywhere to draft a monostrap pattern when you are having a quarter scale draft of your body's block. So for you to do or achieve any monostrap design, your pattern must be full front like I have on the board. Do you get it now? It's very hard and very funny to draft monostrap on this kind of shape, on this kind of pattern, on quarter scale. You need it on a full front like this. Now let's go to the back. Now for the back, if you are doing yours, it's important that on the back pattern, the same process of neckline is applicable. But the only difference is that when you are doing your monostrap as a pattern maker, you need to include the zip allowance on the pattern. And that's for a reason. If you try to jump this process, you might experience some few challenges while trying to sew it up. So it's advisable that when you are doing your monostrap at the back, please include either by adding extra paper on the center back to create for the zipper closure part of it. Now this is my zip line. So I added my zipper there. So now one thing you should understand is that my monostrap is from my right slanting towards the left, right? So it shows that when you're doing the back, you don't drop the pattern, the back facing you. Though my illustration is going to show you that, and I'll explain that for you to get clarity of my explanation. I hope you're with me. So now I went in 3 cm here, so I'm going to do the same thing here. Go inward 3 cm. Then do the same 1 cm that you came down here. 1 cm. Now this time around, I'm doing direct shaping of this. So I want to use my blue pen so that you can see the highlights clearly. So place this there. Now, I have this now. So with this now, I've been able to create the desired kind of neckline I want on my monostrap. So they are having the same strap width in front, the same strap width at the back. So now I'm doing this. So doing this now, that shows that is 1/4. Before I cut, for the back pattern, the same thing goes like what I have on my pattern, but the only difference is that I have to show you the cutting method of it. So I've added my zipper allowance, which you have seen. This is my zipper allowance, and on this side also my zipper allowance. Now look at this simple analogy. It will save you a lot of time. Are you with me? So I have this. This is the back of my pattern. So it shows that if I place this front part of my front pattern here, you watch it with me like this. So it shows that now this pattern is the back side facing you. So if I do like this, if you cut from here from this pattern like this, that means your monostrap is not going to balance on the strap point. Let me repeat again. This is my front pattern this way, the front side of this paper facing me. This is the front side of my paper, of the front side. And can you all hear me? Now this is the front of my back. Back one and back two. You get? But what I'm saying in essence is that for you that are going to cut, I need we are still on the same page, and this is almost rounding, huh? So I have this. What I'm saying is this here now is that if you have this, you can't just go and cut. Yeah. If I cut this one from this point this way, I dare not cut the back on my pattern this way. Are you with me? That's the smartest way for any student that is doing pattern drafting can actually work smart. So I want you to work smart, and that's why the process is showing you this fastest method and very reliable. So if you cut your pattern this way, don't come and cut this one here this way, because it won't meet up with what you have by the time you flip your pattern over. And I'll show you that experiment. So now, before I go on, let me try and make sure this one merges. So I'll measure the same, my strap. Now, so I'm going to cut this one away. Let me cut it. I'm cutting my own neckline out now. Now, I already cut this, but I'm saying that instead of cutting this from here, for those of you that are working, place this one. Since this one is the right side, make sure that this one is this way. Then ensure that this one is, the back is facing it this way. Ensure that this one is what? Like this. Now, so that by the time you place this pattern this way, you can have the same shape of cutting. And when you are, I hope you're getting what I'm showing you. Okay, so I already cut my pattern this way, which is the front of the pattern. But when you are cutting for the back, don't cut. Make sure that this back of this front pattern faces the back of your back pattern as well. So that by the time you want to go and cut on the fabric, you can have this strap line on the same point. If you cut this way, by the time you are done cutting on your fabric, you realize that the strap of the front is here, while the strap of the back is here, which is really very painful. So now, I'll do the same connection of my neckline this way. Now, you know why I did this thing now? This is what I did. Are you with me? Now, yes. Another thing that you should understand is that, please, don't cut this neckline while your zipper allowance is left open. Make sure that it's bent this way before you cut. The reason being that if I cut this zipper allowance this way now, if I cut my neckline now with my zipper allowance line included on the center back, when I'm done, this place is going to look like this. Look at me. I just want to experiment with this pattern. See, it won't meet up. This one is going to bend this way. And this one too will look funny here. But if you cut this way, so now I don't want you to have this kind of experience, because when you are fixing it with lining, it might be very funny. You get? So what you need to do is that make sure that these two lines are closed. This is the only part about the monostrap. The sewing is not that hard. I'll also show you that it's not that hard. So this is the funny part about the monostrap. If you get this part, you go to go. So I'll bring this one closer to it. This way. Are you with me now? So I'll now reconnect my neckline. See what I have? Are you with me? So now with what I have here, so one side of the pattern is going to look like this. This is what I wanted to actually explain to you people. After cutting, one side of your pattern is going to look like this, and one side is going to look this way. And that's the funny thing you need to experience while cutting it. So I will also show you the same detailing on the cutting part of the class. So this is everything that you need to understand about cutting your monostrap dress, and that's what I had to just let you understand. The reason for this is that when you close the back, let me explain why this is like this now. So that when you close your zipper line and you want to sew, these lines will align perfectly. You see now that here is aligning perfectly now. There's a symmetry on this line. See, this one actually went alongside with the neckline, and this one also goes well along the neckline. But when you leave it open, this is what you're going to have here. Do you get my explanation now? This is what you're going to have, but this is the correct way of having your monostrap back part cut out. So in case you have any other design that you want to achieve with your monostrap design, you can achieve it. Sometimes you can have monostraps like this that have this illusion strap here also, and those illusion straps are the straps that you can put like this here. Do you get it? But every pure monostrap dresses are always having this part of your neckline not available or there. So it's always having this kind of slanted neckline, front and back. So you can decide to put ruffles, can decide to put ruching, can decide to put anything around the neckline to give it a bit of good look. So if you check other kinds of designs that you are seeing out there and you fall in love with the design, you can as well achieve them with your monostrap design. So indirectly, this place is no longer existing, which I don't want to actually clean off. I would draw it back. So this is what you have at the back, and this is what you also have at the front as well. Another thing that is important for you to understand is sometimes the kind of material you use could also play a big part on your monostrap, in the sense that it tends to gape sometimes because of the kind of neckline you're cutting. But I will still explain a bit of that for you when we are doing the cutting. So I think at this point we would call it a beautiful big day on the section of the monostrap. So if there's anybody that has any question, please feel free to ask me now.